What up, guys? The Bench Buddies are back, and today we'll be doing our NFL mock draft for this year's draft, at least just the first round. We could do one for the previous rounds after we see what happens in the first round on Thursday, but we're going to get into it here. But before we do, our next video you will see in the MLB Power Rankings, we will have our winner for the 100 subscriber giveaway, so make sure you guys are tuned into that, and make sure you're here. Subscribe. 500 subscribers, we'll be doing an even bigger giveaway next time, so make sure you guys don't miss that. But let's get into the video.
So starting off with the number 1 overall pick, we're going to be taking Aiden Hutchinson for the University of Michigan.
Number 2, it makes too much sense for the Lions to not take an edge rusher here. You know, people have been talking Malik Willis, Evan Neal, if he's still in there, bolster that line for Goff. But I just think right now at the 2, you can't be super risky here with a quarterback pick unless you're super sure he's your guy. And I don't think that's what the Lions have. So I think they're going to play it safe. Go with Thibodeau here. He's a good community guy, wants to give back to the community. And I think it's just what Detroit needs. You know, guys like this. Obviously, he's a freak on the field. And, you know, last year he was the projected number 1 pick. But this year, he's going at 2, coming in Detroit.
And at number 3, we got the Houston Texans. I think they're going to be going with Evan Neal. I just think if he's here at number 3, you have to take him to maybe get a quarterback in the future and really have that organization set up for success in the future.
And at 4, the Jets need some help on defense, and they're going to go with Sauce Gardner. He's a stud out of Cincinnati, best corner in the draft, and I don't think anyone can argue against that. Maybe Derek Stingley's the only exception, but Sauce Gardner here at 4 for the Jets just makes too much sense.
And at 5, the Giants, I have them selecting Ikem Ekwonu, offensive tackle out of North Carolina State. I just think that they need to get a tackle to really protect Danny Dimes, and they might end up getting another one too. If Charles Cross or if another one of the better tackles in this class are available, then they might be getting them too.
And here is where the first quarterback gets selected at 6. It's not Malik Willis. We're going with Kenny Pickett. I just think that the Panthers are an organization that doesn't know what they're doing, and this is going to be a pressure pick. I think they're getting pressured into taking a quarterback. You know, Matt Rule, he's in his 3rd year there, hasn't had a lot of success. You know, he tried Darnold last year, didn't work. He's still their quarterback as of right now. And I think he wants to win now and keep his job, so he's going to go with Kenny Pickett here. And a lot of people's jobs are going to be up for grabs after this year because it's not going to work. But the Panthers are going with Pickett at 6.
And at 7, like I said earlier, the Giants, I think they'll be taking Charles Cross. They were to really bolster up that offensive line. One of the bottom 5 offensive lines the last few years, and these 2 picks will be big for rebuilding that.
At 8, the Atlanta Falcons are going to be taking Trayvon Walker. He's going to fall to him. I don't know if you could say fall, but he's a solid player. And, you know, all 4 of these edge rushers, even Jermaine Johnson included, could go number 1 that have already gone in our draft. So it's really, there's no really superstar and then other guys compared to these, but I think Walker at 8 makes too much sense for the Falcons. I know they need some offense, you know, losing Matt Ryan, bringing in Mariota, but this is a generational talent. He's a solid player, edge rusher lining up at D end or linebacker. He can do whatever, and it's just hard to pass on a guy like that.
And at number 9, the Seattle Seahawks, I have them selecting Jordan Davis. Just think that he's going to be a big plug-and-go run stopper for the Seattle defense. That'll really help their defense out. Again, one of the worst defenses in the league last year, and they're getting even worse. So I feel like it'd be stupid to take a quarterback here and maybe waste Malik Willis's first 2 years without having a good roster. So Jordan Davis at number 9.
And at 10, it's a big question mark on who the Jets are going to take. They are going to take a receiver. It could be Drake London. It could be Olave. It could be Jamison Williams. Could be Garrett Wilson. And I think I'm going to go with Drake London here as the bet. 6'2", 225. He's a huge weapon for, you know, the Jets. I think Zach Wilson's going to benefit from that. And you're going to see it pay off early in the season.
At number 11, the Washington Commanders. I think they got to go Kyle Hamilton in this spot right here. He's way too good of a player to be down here, but it's just a stacked draft, and I think Washington will be a good home for Kyle Hamilton.
At 12, I think Derek Stingley can make sense, but as you can see from these team needs, the Vikings need a corner, D-tackle, safety, and edge. And it's really just Stingley, Carliffs, and Jermaine Johnson, but I think they will play it safe. Go with Stingley because obviously in today's NFL, it's all about speed, and he can keep up with those guys. And obviously, if you have a guy that can keep up with guys like Tyreek Hill, it makes your life a whole lot easier on defense. And I think that's the way the Vikings go.
At 13, the Houston Texans, I could see them going offensive line. I could see them going Devin Lloyd with the linebacker, and I could see him going edge here as well. I'm gonna say Jermaine Johnson, the edge from Florida State, would be going to Houston.
At 14 for Baltimore. Now, on these team needs, it says they need an O tackle, and what better O tackle to get than Trevor Penning? I mean, just look at this guy, 6'7", 325. He's gonna protect Lamar, so they're gonna go with him at 14. That's just a no-brainer pick there for the Ravens.
And at 15, the Eagles are selecting now, and I think they're gonna get Devin Lloyd from Utah, linebacker, gonna really help that. He's going to be the guy on that defense to kind of call the plays and call everything out. So taking Devin Lloyd at 15.
At 16, we got the Saints. Here, they says they need a quarterback, but I think at 17 and 18, you see teams that don't really need a quarterback. So they're going to go a different route here. It's kind of tough to see what they would go with because, OT, safety, running back, wide receiver. And they're going to go with a wide receiver. They're going to see that Garrett Wilson is still there on the table. So they're going to go with him. And that's just a pick that I think they know that they can play that one safe. He's a solid receiver. But the quarterback is the big question on who they're going to take at 19, I think.
And at 17, the Los Angeles Chargers, I could see them going Jameson Williams, Zion Johnson, or Andrew Booth, or even Dax Hill. They really need a playmaker on defense, but as you see, Mike Williams and Keenan Allen aren't really the young guys. They're getting older, is what I'm saying. And I think receiver might be your best bet here to give. Honestly, I just think the Chargers will take a receiver to really help that out. And I'm gonna go Jameson Williams.
A solid pick, probably a pick that no one sees coming right there. Jameson Williams. So at 18. Here we go. You got the Eagles after taking Devin Lloyd. What are they going to do? They're going to come back, respond, and take a receiver as well. And it's going to be between Treylon Burks and Olave, but I think Olave makes too much sense for them there. And, obviously another wide receiver from The Ohio State University. Both put up good years. Olave is going to fit right in, I think, with Hurts and his scheme. Run and gun, that's where Olave thrives, and I think that's a great fit.
And at 19, this is where your second quarterback will be taken, and that is Malik Willis. I just think you're right about the quarterback. This is a great spot to take a quarterback, and I think they're taking Malik Willis, which is the best quarterback in the draft. And am I picking for the Steelers here?
Yeah, you can pick for your team.
This is a tough one. They could go safety here with Dax Hill. I could really see that coming, but I could also see them getting Zion Johnson or Kenyon Green. I can't see him going Matt Corral here just because he's really not proved much. He got hurt coming off an ACL. Yeah. So I think I'm going to be taking. I think they got to go Zion Johnson here.
Solid pick. And I think 21, the Patriots, as you can see here, they need a corner, a wide receiver, safety, D tackle. But I just think they're going with Dax Hill here. He's going to go to him at 21. He's a good fit for Belichick's scheme over there in New England. McCourty, he's getting old, or he doesn't play for them anymore. I'm not 100% sure. But I just think they just bring in guys and contribute right away, and Dax Hill is one of those guys. And at 22 for my Packers, they're going to go with a receiver because Rodgers needs one, and they're going to go with Treylon Burks. I mean, if you look at his profile here, 6'2", 225, it's a good fill-in for Devontae. He may not be as good as Devontae, obviously, but it's a good second option as that receiver. You know, they brought in Sammy Watkins already. He's going to be a nice complement to Sammy Watkins. And I don't expect the Packers to be done at receiver if, you know, some of those guys that we're taking in our draft are still available and Burks is still available. So they could walk out of the first round with two receivers. But Ethan, for 23, what are the Cardinals doing?
I think it makes sense here to go with George Karlaftis to solidify that edge a little bit. I mean, he's been a dog at Purdue the last few years, and I think he's going to be a good NFL player as well, especially if he gets into Arizona, which would be a great pick for them.
24, we got the Dallas Cowboys, and they need some O-line help, but they also need some defensive help as well. And I don't like this pick as much. We are doing this draft with no trades, so they can't trade out of it. I think they would trade out of this pick right now if some of these guys that they'd like are not here. But for the sake of it, I think we're going to go for a reach pick here. And, you know, it's going to be tough because I really don't know, like, what the Cowboys would do here because there's no really safety or DT that I like at this spot. So we're going to go with the linebacker position, and we're going to go with Nakobe Dean. He's a solid linebacker out of Georgia. You know, everyone's talking about our number 8 pick, Trayvon Walker, and forget about Nakobe Dean. And he's a solid player out of Georgia, obviously won a national championship, huge contributor to that team. And he's going to fit right in Dallas, you know, with all of Dallas's linebackers, Micah Parsons and him. That'll be a scary combo for you.
Yeah, no doubt. And at number 25, I'm seeing Kenneth Walker down there. And I think that'd be a surprise pick that could really go well for them. I mean, they sort of need a running back. I'm doing it. Go Kenneth Walker here. If they get this, I think he's going to be a home run type of guy. Now, it may not say he's a team need as running back.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's the 5th team need. But this guy can just run the ball. Like his comparison is probably Jonathan Taylor. The last few years, he gets the ball. He's a workhorse type of guy, and that would make the Bills' offense 5 times more explosive. I think that'd be a really interesting, and it's a reach, but if that happens, it's going to be a big splash.
At 26, the Titans are going to get the steal of the draft and Andrew Booth Jr. from Clemson, the corner. The Titans, you know, we saw them last year make the playoffs and just fizzle out towards the end of the year. And that's mostly in part to their defense. You know, obviously Henry being hurt and Tannehill not playing as well. Obviously, you know, receivers getting hurt too, but it falls back on the defense as well, where they just got walked all over, it felt like, in the playoffs. You know, it wasn't like a super high scoring game or anything, but they just felt like, you know, the defense just wasn't there for them. And I think Booth is going to be a huge contributor, especially in the AFC now with all these stud receivers. You got to have some corners that can stop them or at least limit them. And I think that's the way the Titans look here at 26.
I think the Bucs at 27 are going to go, I'm thinking they're going to go Tyler Lindenbaum. Or no, Kenyon Green, the best guard left in this draft, just to solidify that offensive line a little bit more for Tom Brady's last season. I think this is going to be a good pick for the future and for right now for Brady.
Here at 28, I don't care what you say. The Packers may be reaching here a little bit on this pick, but they're going to go with Christian Watson out of North Dakota State, 6'4", 205. So they're bringing in some guys for Rodgers because they know they got him for 3 more years. So you might as well give him some weapons in the draft. This is your best chance to get, you know, these young guys and can contribute early with Rodgers. So you'll bring in 2 receivers that can do it, 2 big receivers, and obviously adding Sammy Watkins and having Randall Cobb as the reliable option help. So the Packers are going to make a big splash here in the first round.
At 29, the Chiefs, they're in need of a safety, receiver, edge, corner, or tight end. I think they're going Kyer Elam from Florida. Just kind of an obvious pick here. And they back-to-back picks for the Chiefs.
And at 30, I think they will go with David Ojabo out of Michigan. I know he's hurt, but they don't need him essentially right now. Like he doesn't have to contribute week 1 because that defense is still a solid defense. And if they get him back at all this year, that's going to be a huge bonus for that defense. I'm not saying he's going to come back, but if he does, watch out because that'd be a scary, scary defense if he comes back and just can make an immediate impact.
For my last pick here, the Cincinnati Bengals, they got to take Tyler Linderbaum. Got to go with offensive line. Got to protect Joe Burrow. It's the only thing they have going for him right now. So got to go with the line.
And at 32, I already took the Lions. They had him take Thibodeau, so they got that edge out of the way. And you see wide receiver, cornerback, linebacker, safety. I think they're going to reach a little bit, and I don't think the fan base is going to be happy. And they're going to go with Desmond Ridder at 32, as you can see it there. Quarterback out of Cincinnati. He's a solid player. I don't think he's going to start right away because they don't have to have him start right away. He could be a developmental project, kind of like Trey Lance was last year. Obviously Trey Lance is their guy this year. But if the Lions don't go quarterback at 32, I think they'll go with Lewis Sine, safety out of Georgia. It could be anything, especially after these first round. You don't know who's going where. And obviously, even as you enter probably the 20th pick and on, you still don't know what's going to happen. But that is going to be it for the video today. If you liked it, hit that like button down below. Comment, let us know what your guys' draft, how that's going to go. And subscribe, of course, to be entered into our giveaway. But until the next time, the Punch Buddies are out.
She never called back.